So, hey everyone, I have my very special guest that I told you about in the very beginning on here now, Deandra. Do you call yourself Deandra Crimson or you just Deandra? You have some moniker thing going on, right? With your
Well,
name,
it's actually pronounced Deandra, but
Deandra.
it's
Okay.
Deandra. Then I usually go by Deandra Jalisa because that's my middle name.
Hmm.
Chris and I kind of took it out, but Deandra Christmas is my name. That's my government name.
I love it when we put that middle name thing in there because my middle name is Joyce. I never ever use it. So I
Mhm,
have started using the J. So my
mhm,
husband's mother, who passed away before I even met her, she
mhm.
was a Joyce. So I'm a Joyce. She's a
Oh
Joyce.
yeah,
And we don't give that middle name enough stuff. So talk about pivoting.
exactly. I love it. I was like, I love my middle name, so I was like, I'm gonna use it in my name.
Yeah,
Mhm.
definitely. We have to do that. So I got you on here today. I'm so happy. Deandra, is that how I say it?
Deandra.
Deandra. So
Yes.
I don't like to pronounce people's names wrong because I'd be like, when you pronounce mine, or give me an N on the Caroline or Caroline. Then okay, my name is Carol. So I'm so glad that we could come on today and talk about pivoting because pivoting is so important,
Hmm.
especially right now.
Yes.
Nowadays, pivoting is important because I think a lot of people are like stuck. They don't know what's happening in life. They don't know what to do. People are
Hmm.
telling them sit down, boycott, and then other people are telling them get up, go do something. And I think
Right.
all the business owners and entrepreneurs are kind of in the middle. We don't know what to do. So
Right.
it's time to pivot, but then we don't know how to do it, right? So that's why I got you here. So
Yeah.
before we get into all this, why don't you tell the audience about yourself, what's going on, how you get to this point, and then we're going to come back on and talk a little bit about some pivoting action here.
Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna go back a little bit because I would say I am the pivoting queen. I have pivoted a lot in my life.
Mhm.
And it all started when I started out as a hairstylist. My mother and my grandmother um, were hairstylists, and well, my mom is still a hairstylist to this day. And I was raised in the hair salon, so it was just something that came natural to me. And um, I just gravitated towards doing hair. I went to college, but I started feeling like maybe I want to follow my family's footsteps and do hair. So I went into the hair industry, and I soon found out that it wasn't what I wanted to do. So I then entered into the event industry, and that's when my whole life kind of changed because I think I was really walking in my purpose and doing what I wanted to do for myself. So pivoting into the event industry was a game changer for me. And then that's when I actually was able to build my event business, which I specialize in organic balloon decor. And I built a six-figure business with that, and it's been amazing. And now pivoting again, I'm pivoting now into coaching and
Mhm.
helping other creative entrepreneurs start their businesses and get them off the ground, and just also learning how to pivot into something brand new because it's very scary, and sometimes you don't know where to start. So I
Mhm.
feel like for me, just learning how I pivoted and then I was okay. Like I did
Right.
it and I came out on the other side every time. I feel like it's just also just having faith and
Mhm.
knowing what God put on your heart to just do it because something's telling you to do it, but you're like, I don't know if I can even do this. And that's where the power of pivoting and really just implementing it, like what you want to do and just do
Mhm.
it. Just do it, basically.
Exactly. I feel it. I mean, I love that thing. Just do it. Stop
Yeah.
whining about it. Stop bitching about it.
Hmm.
Stop wondering about it. Just do it. And we
Right.
have we have to do that in so many things in our life, our
Hmm.
business, our marriage or relationship, our relationship with our kids, or relationship with our parents. We
Hmm.
have to pivot because there's certain stages we go through. Now,
Right.
I would be remiss if I did not ask you this, and I ask everybody this. How do you, because this podcast is about getting more traffic to your
Mhm.
website. How do you get traffic to your website?
Well, first I created a beautiful website so that it stands out when someone
Yay.
lands on it.
I love it.
It has everything in place and it's like easy, user friendly. I feel like that's something that I've always wanted, was just a user friendly website to get connected with my clients. But I've done a lot of stuff as I've been growing my business with social media, Instagram. I don't post as much anymore because I am transitioning businesses, but I still get a lot of business from my Instagram just because
Mhm.
when I first started my business, I was like going hard in the paint, showing up all the time, and I got all my traffic from Instagram and
Mhm.
obviously like SEO and all those things too. Um,
Right.
but I think it's just like social media is where I kind of start there and have my little links page, and you can go straight to
Mhm.
my site and directly to the pages that you need
Right.
to get in the door.
I
So
love that. I
yeah,
love that. Directly to the pages. That's how I know that you are an educated, purpose-driven entrepreneur, because you go straight to the pages, not
yeah,
just my whole website.
right.
Here's
No,
everything. No, just this one page that you need. I love that. I love when people say that because,
yes,
I'm sure you agree with me. Sending people to your whole web page is just a waste of money and time and
right. It's
effort.
overwhelming too. Like sometimes people, because what I've learned is a lot of people don't read.
Oh,
Like,
yeah, that's true.
so if you just make it as easy as possible, like
Hmm.
book now, and you can just book now, it's just easy. Then like
Right.
go to my site, check out my gallery. If you want to look at my gallery, just go to the portfolio.
Go to the gallery. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
Yep,
So,
yep, I agree. I agree.
mhm,
We do have to make it simple and easy. And that's one of the things that's going on now. Nothing is simple and easy right now.
mhm,
Everybody's afraid. Everybody's like, what do I do next? How can I do? And my husband and I were talking about it, like everything's kind of at a halt
mhm,
because nobody knows what to do. Everybody's holding money close to their chest. I don't know what's happening. I'm
mhm.
not spending any money, but that's not getting us anywhere because
Right.
there's a lot of people out there who have money and who are spending it and who are making bank, making change, do all this stuff. So what do you think about what's going on now out in the world since we, got this craziness going on, especially in
Yeah.
the States?
It's been because personally too in my business it's been affecting um the event industry because I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I would say January to about March anyway is kind of slow, but I'm
Right.
busy. But right, I feel like this past year and this year it's been
Mm-hmm.
like I don't even know, like a roller coaster
Mm-hmm. Yep.
because like people too, their budgets are changing. Um, in the past, they would call with like good, nice budgets, but now it's like, oh, I only want to spend $300 or $200,
Yeah.
which is in retrospect a lot of money, but for what people
Mm-hmm.
want and they're envisioning, it's like
No, nothing,
I can't make it
nothing.
happen. And then we
Yeah.
have from in my industry, Party City closed down. So
Wow.
we in retrospect, everybody's like, that's a good for your business, but in reality, it's not because Party City was a place where you can just go in and get something quick. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not that service.
Right.
So it's been all over the place. And I feel like in this day and age too, with just everyone not wanting to invest in themselves and being scared to invest in themselves because it's like social media again, I feel like kind
Mm-hmm.
of messed that up because there's all these like, imposters taking,
Mm-hmm.
because I've had an imposter before as a coach, like, and I gave him all this money and I didn't even get anything out of it. So I
Right.
know the feeling of investing in something, but that's when you just do your research. But
Mm-hmm.
again, we have to make it easy for people to do their research and find us, so that they can get the information that they need. So
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. It's all about ease and grace. We're not trying to
Yeah.
make it difficult. We're trying to make it easy. And that's why, when I listened to your episode on your own podcast and you were
Mhm.
talking about pivoting, I was like, I got to get this girl on my podcast because we're all going through this. I think there's not one profession, person, business owner, entrepreneur that is not affected by this in some way, shape, or fashion. We're all having to pivot in some kind of way. Even you are saying that you're pivoting to a new branch of your business. Who knows,
Mhm.
you may get down the line, put them back together, and then
Right.
you got a whole new thing. It's kind of crazy. So what made you decide that you're going to maybe put it on hold for a little bit, not do it as much, but go into coaching instead of actually doing this thing that you're doing now?
Well, for starters, I mean, I've been doing I've been in the event industry for 10 years, but I've been designing balloons for 8. And a lot of people don't realize how labor intensive it is.
Oh yeah.
And very straining on your body. And the logistics of it all. I live in LA, so trying to get from one place to the other can be just mentally draining for me. So I've just been like, I want to find something a little bit more, I guess I don't want to say easier, because coaching is not easy.
No, but easier in certain ways, maybe easier like
on my
traveling and stuff
body
like
and my
that. Yeah.
mental state. Also not having to deal with like the ups and downs of events. Events alone can give you a migraine.
Oh yeah.
So
I know.
But I love it, and I still love design, and I will still probably be teaching design. It's just I want to back away from that side and just more so help, because that's when I've been helping people. It's been so it's been feeling so amazing to me to see the transformations and to get someone from who's just so stuck in their way and then just start seeing them shine. I think that's the thing that just brings me so much joy, and I'm really passionate about that. Just because I know I did it, and I know when I started, coaching really wasn't, it was out there, but to me it wasn't accessible. When I started my business 10 years ago. But now I'm like trying to create spaces and communities so that it is accessible and something you're not afraid to do. Because it's I feel like too, a lot of people try to make entrepreneurship super hard. It's hard, but it's not when you have like guidance and someone to help you and tell you the steps who's actually done it. So
that means the most. If you can get with someone who's got a proven track record, like you can look back in their life or their blog posts or whatever and see they've done these things, they've been there, done that, got the t-shirt type of thing, then that makes you a little bit ease up on okay, I'm gonna pay them, work with them. But in all, I think every entrepreneurial thing that we do is hard, because if you're anything like me, you're probably somewhat of a perfectionist. I'm not 100% a perfectionist, but I am somewhat of it, because I'm detail oriented in some things, and in other things I'm like, oh, that'll be okay. But certain things I'm like, it's got to be like this and this and this and don't.
I'm the same way.
And I want to teach people. And you're right, coaching does give you that feeling of, oh my God, this person, I had a part in teaching them, and now they're doing that the same way I feel about my authors who are out there. When they come to me and I'm like, you know what, this is going to be a best-selling book, and they go, really, Carol? It is. I was like, yeah, it's going to be a bestseller. And they have that all the way up until we get to the thing where it says bestseller. And they're like, oh my God, it's a bestseller. And then you see them blossom and bloom and all of that. And that's so heartwarming. That is so heartwarming. But it all started because of that pivot. I wanted to ask you this. What is the biggest lesson that you've learned from pivoting in all these pivots that you're doing, especially now? What is a lesson that you're going to carry forth in that?
I think for me, I've just learned that pivoting is like kind of in a way like a spiritual thing, because I'm just listening to my intuition and listening to my body and what feels good to me. And I've for a long time blocked that side of me out. And I've pivoted, but sometimes it's always like second guess myself. But now I'm just really like, no, this is what I want to do. I want to change my life. So like, and I feel like we get stuck in this like box sometimes where everybody's like, this is what you do. Like people put me in a box as a balloon artist, and like, how are you going to leave doing balloons to do this? And it's like, I'm a human being. I'm ever changing. I'm not supposed to stay this person for the rest of my life. Like there's so much I could do out here, and I only have one life. So for me, I want to make the best of it and do as much as I can and explore different avenues. And that's why I always pivot, because who knows if coaching is I know coaching is not going to be my final destination. It's probably going to be like writing a book. There's just so many things and so many opportunities. And I think just stepping out on faith on all of these things is what motivates me every time.
That's why I had to get you on, because you sound so much like me. It's like, yeah, I mean, I was a personal trainer for like 10 years. Before that,
Oh,
I did
really?
web design. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Or I did web design with my husband because we've been in
Uh-huh.
this business for 30 years, right?
Right, right,
Then I
right.
got kind of bored. I figured this is the one thing that made me kind of go, I started running into these people who had champagne tastes and beer budgets.
Mm-hmm.
And then, they didn't have no more money. And they're like, why you want me to spend all this for a website? I just got tired. But what I didn't learn, which I learned later, was that I wasn't targeting the right people. I wasn't targeting anybody. I was just like, you want a website? Come on with me.
Mm-hmm.
Not knowing that, no, everybody is not your client. And you
Right.
can't work with everybody. You can't get everybody everything. So I went on this trek. I was a personal trainer for 10 years, still doing web design and stuff on the side.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got to a point when I was diagnosed with breast cancer. I just felt like my body had kind of on me. What? Betrayed me because I was a personal
Yeah.
trainer. I was eating right. I was working out. I was doing all the healthy stuff and I still got cancer. I'm like, oh my gosh. So
Wow.
right there, like you're saying, you were talking about taking care of your body, taking care of yourself. You're like not losing the love for what you were doing, but
Mm-hmm.
you know that there's something different. That's how I felt. And I'm like, wow, I just go back to doing websites, make it full time, really get into it and all that. I heard the exact same thing. Why are you leaving personal training? You're a
Mm-hmm.
great personal trainer. Everybody
Mm-hmm.
loses weight and da 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 da. I'm like, I don't want, if I don't love it, I can't do it.
Right.
I just can't. So I'm not going to
Right.
make myself love something that I don't love or I
Mm-hmm.
don't have that love anymore. And now I put all that love and stuff into this business, the web design, marketing strategy, and all that. And the marketing strategy, doing the book, the podcast, and the summit to help spread the word. So I know exactly what you're talking about. So
Yeah.
now what advice do you have for someone who's afraid to make that change? They know they're stuck. They know they need to do something, but making the change and walking outside and going a different direction than where they are is just scaring the crap out of them. What,
Mm-hmm.
what advice do you have for them?
Well, for starters, I would say if you do your research, that helps a lot with easing some of the fears. Is just understanding in totality what you're getting yourself into.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like a lot of people, due to social media, will see someone who started a business or who's doing something that seems interesting, and you just hop on in, and you don't really understand what you're getting yourself into until you're in it, and then you're like, well, this is not what I want.
Right,
And
exactly.
that's where the fear actually manifests,
Mm-hmm.
because you
Mm-hmm.
didn't do the time to, you didn't do your due diligence to get the research, ask for help, get a mentor possibly who's doing what you want to do. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I don't even go on YouTube. Like, I say research is just, it eases your mind, and also finding like a network. For
Mm-hmm.
me, every time I get into a new industry or think of a new idea, I try to find others who are doing that same thing and
Right.
just pick their brains respectfully. Because
Mm-hmm.
when you're picking, it's a line when you're picking someone's brain, but
True.
asking the right questions and finding those people so that you can feel more comfortable with taking that big jump into it instead of trying to do it yourself. Because
Right.
you try to do it alone, you don't know what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
You don't.
Mm-hmm.
So having someone who's like, oh, I experienced this before too. This is going to happen, so you're aware.
Right.
And
Get
then you're like,
ready.
oh, okay, I see the path
Mm-hmm.
instead of
Mm-hmm.
just walking in the dark, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. I think you're right. You're absolutely correct. We all need mentors, coaches, someone to talk to because that new road is scary.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's not been paved, we don't
Right.
think. So we
Yeah.
don't want to step on it. It's not, there is no tree lining, so we're hot, we're in the sun. So we
Mm-hmm.
need someone that's saying, it's okay. I went down that road the other day. There's paving just a couple of yards up. There's some
Mm-hmm.
trees going. You're like, oh, okay, thank you. So
Yes.
it,
Feels good too. Yeah, having that person to just say, yeah, you're okay. Like, you're on the right track.
yeah, and you're not crazy.
Right. Exactly.
Because sometimes we think we're like, what are we doing? Why are we doing this? But we're doing it because, like you said, God is calling us to do something else, something different for
Mm-hmm.
such a time as this when everything is crazy. People are running around like a chicken with their head cut off. They're
Right.
trying to wait for the White House to say whatever. We're like, stop waiting on that mess.
Mm-mm.
We need to look for God and
Right.
listen and trying to see what he's saying we need to do and
Mm-hmm.
not trying to see what anybody else, because it doesn't matter what any other person human does. God has got rule over it. So even though I'm saying that, I have to keep myself in check too, because sometimes I'll go down that crazy road, be like, oh my goodness, they're doing this or stopping that. Maybe it's a good thing. Or maybe it's,
Exactly. I was like, it's
you
out of our
know,
control. We have no control
mm-mm,
what's going on outside. So, and I
mm-mm.
feel like a lot of people are allowing that to control what they do in life. And it's
Right.
like, no, like people, Trump was in the office before when you talk about
Mm-hmm.
politics. So it's like, it will be okay. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
just keep doing what you want to do and don't
Right.
focus on what's going on in the White House and all of that. Just focus on what you want to do. You'll be
Right. Because that'll keep you scared and stuck. And we're not
fine.
trying to do that. We're trying to do the other S, which is successful. And
Yes.
we can do that. Which
Yes.
brings me to this pivot challenge. I'll always come on with a challenge with my guests, and this one sounds amazing. Tell us about this pivot challenge that you have for the audience to help them get unstuck and feel better about life and the things they're getting ready to do.
So I would say I want for your pivot challenge is to do 7 days because I feel like 7 days is better than 30.
Mm-hmm,
30 is
mm-hmm.
overwhelming. But do
Yeah.
a 7 day challenge where every day you show up as the person you desire to be, like in your pivot. So let's say you want to start I don't know, a graphic design business. Let's just
Mm-hmm,
throw it out there.
mm-hmm.
Every day, what steps can you take to grow or even start this graphic design business? Is it writing a business plan on day one? Is it finding a mentor or someone on YouTube podcast that you can listen to get some gems?
Right.
What are your 7 days going to be? Plan them out and just do one small step, something that you can do within an hour to get to where you want to go. Because every day you do that, you're going to start manifesting into this graphic designer that you want to be or whatever business that you want.
Yes.
So that's a 7 day challenge for you.
I love that. And it's easy.
It's
It's
easy.
easy and simple. Every day, do one step. Now,
Yes.
audience members, y'all have to figure out what your steps are, what it is you want to do, but it's not hard.
It's
So,
really
number one thing you need to do is stop watching the news so much.
right.
Just take it in little bites. Stop being on social media so much. Take it in little bites and
Mm-hmm.
concentrate more on the things that you want, what you
Right.
want to do. Concentrate on yourself because nobody else don't care about you, but we do. We care about you
Yes.
and we here to help you.
Exactly. Literally, I feel like that's honestly, I think that's like the key is just to really focus on what you want. Like it doesn't, because I think too a lot of times with pivoting, people think about what their family's gonna think, what their
Yeah.
friends are going to think. And it's like, you're pivoting into a new version of yourself. You don't even know who this person is. So obviously, once you start implementing tasks and doing different things every day, you're going to start showing up as a different person. And that's what you want. And people
Yes.
may say, oh, you changed, but that's actually a good sign that you
Mhm.
changed. Like I love when people say you changed because thank you. It shows that I'm growing and going where I want to go. I'm not going to stay the same.
Right,
So,
right. Well,
yeah.
I love the fact that you are looking forward. Like you said, you're young, you can make these changes now. You
Mhm.
know, you're not old. Where even me, I'm making changes. I've
Mhm.
made changes to my life. So we
Change
all
forever,
have
yeah.
to look at ourselves and see where we are. You know, Paul, well, Peter, was it Peter or Paul said, be content in whatever you're doing. I can't remember one of them P people said.
I think it was Peter. I think it was.
I can't
Well,
remember.
yeah, I can't. Yeah.
Y'all forgive us, but we know it's in there. Y'all go look for it. He said, be content in all that you do. You know, that doesn't mean you have to fall in love with what, just be content. Because when you're content, you can think. And when you
Mm-hmm.
think, you can make decisions. Because when
Yeah.
you're out there frazzled and crazy and running around and you're crazy, everybody else is crazy, you can't make good decisions because you don't know what to do. You're confused.
Right.
And I always say a confused mind does nothing. They say no, they don't do anything, they just kind of sit there looking at you all crazy. And one thing I would like to add to your challenge in the very beginning, and I do this for myself, and it's to find a nice, quiet place, whether it's a bathroom, closet, whatever. Just sit down, woosah, get all that stuff out of your head, all that stuff you're supposed to be doing, could be doing, get it all out your head, and just be very quiet And when
Yes.
you're quiet, you can hear God talking to you. I know
Mhm.
that. And he tells you the direction you need to go, but you have to be quiet and you have to be listening. If you're not doing those two things, then you could hear some other stuff or get the message mixed up. But I think with your pivot challenge and just being quiet and really listening, we can make it through all this. We
Yes.
can, because we made it through to whatever age we are now. We've made it through, and I know we've all been through some craziness. So we gonna do it.
Yes, we are. We all
Oh
have a
my
story.
gosh. This has been great. Thank you for joining me. I mean, we did a lot in a little bit of time, but I would like for people, since you were talking about your website, let them know how they can get in touch with you, whether it's for coaching or they need some balloon work, but let us know how they can get in touch with you before I let you get out of here.
Perfect. Yes. So if you want any like coaching or just like tools, resources, all of those things, my website is www.deandrajalisa.com. And that has everything to get in touch with me. If you do want to inquire about balloon services in LA, my website is www.partyshop.avenue.com. And we can help you with any balloon decor needs. So
I
it's 2 for
love it.
1.
I love it. And I know you are a trained, purpose-driven entrepreneur because you said go to my website. You didn't say your social media handle. Y'all listen up now. You didn't say social media. You didn't say anything. You said go to my website. That is
Yes.
the best place to tell people to go. That's why we're trying to get traffic to the website because you
Yes.
want people to go there, right?
Because
Not those
everything is
other things.
there. Like if you want to
Yes.
go to my social media, it's at the bottom. If you
Right.
want to see my YouTube, like everything is there. It's like a hub.
Mhm.
So like instead of just saying go to my social media, because sometimes I don't even post on there, but I'm always keeping my website updated and newsletters. Like that's the place to go.
Exactly. And one more thing I almost forgot. You have a special gift for the audience. Tell us what that is, and I'll make sure we put the link in the show notes.
Okay, cool. So I have a creative, it's a creative entrepreneur ebook, and it's just a guide to guide you through the step-by-step process to getting your business off the ground. And I feel like it will be great for any creatives out there who are trying to go into a new path or even just update their current path. It's a great ebook that you can read, and there's some exercises and strategies in there. So it should be a good time.
Awesome. Now y'all go out and get it. You'll see the link appearing on the bottom of the screen, or it'll be in the show notes. But let me say this right. Deandra, did I say
Deandra,
right?
but it's okay.
Deandra. I want to say your name right. I don't know why I keep
No,
going
you
to
know what?
Deandra.
My sister calls me Deandra. So
maybe that she's channeling me. So
I have a couple friends who call me Deandra. Like it's not a big deal. It's a capital A, so it's Deandra, but it's not a big deal at all.
I'm putting it in my brain. Deandra. See, I won't get it wrong again. But I was like, I don't know how to say her name again, but it's okay. It's okay. You've been awesome. This has been wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us today. And I know you're going to be a great coach. I just know it. You already got the stuff. You got the stuff. You're just building it up. I love it. So I've enjoyed this so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate it.